A few days ago, all Elite Wrestling talents invaded Paradise/Las Vegas, Nevada, and they either rolled Snake Eyes or Drew 21, and Double or Nothing celebrating 5 years of all Elite Wrestling action. It was complete, and now with that marathon of an event in our rearview mirror, we are a month away from AEW, New Japan, and other talents from all over the world, pounding, kicking, and burning down the forbidden door, only to realize, oh shit, Tony Khan gave us the wrong directions. Like we were the Von Erich boys, and we just didn't want to ask for directions anywhere when we got to town. Oh, we're just going to go here, and we're not going to give the fans what they want. We're not going to give the people what they want. And Fritz is still going to say, my boys are going to be NWA World Heavyweight Champions. But that has absolutely nothing to do with this particular event. But yeah, an elderly couple just happens to be housing this particular place where everybody just decided to kick down this door that wasn't forbidden, and now the police are going to be called, and there's going to be so many questions, invasive questions, impossible probing, and everybody's just going to be asking, why? Why didn't Tony Khan decide to give us proper directions? And all he'll say is, thanks, guys. I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite from the Kia Forum, and they're back in California. 5,000 to 5,500 people in the 17,000 seat capacity arena. Run smaller venues, promote your shit, and maybe get a few people on this show off your goddamn television, and you might draw more people. If they had 5,000 to 5,500 people when I was at the Everett Dynamite just a couple weeks ago, well, it might have looked better, because that holds 10,000 seats. Anyway, so yeah, we're onwards, Forbidden Door, and we start off with CEO Mercedes Moné, the new TBS champion. Ending the lengthy reign of Willow Nightingale, it was all of maybe 30 days. Good job making Willow the sacrificial lambess. I don't think that's actually how that works. Balloons and some cheers, and look, all her promos are insincere. I'm not saying she doesn't want to be there. I'm not saying she's not trying, but she needs to be produced, and being produced by this company is not doing her, and it's definitely not doing the fans any favors. Now, that being said, she was getting some cheers. Wasn't I worth the wait? No. And she'll shake off the ring rust. She'll get better. She still can wrestle. She just can't cut fucking promos. Willow had the run of her career. Okay. That's not saying a lot about Willow's future if they said that's a run of her career. And I like Willow. But anyway, she's like going to celebrate. Here's Sky Blue. Sky attacked Mercedes and led to that one audio clip where people clipped it and used it when they wanted to be sexual, because we are all heathens that I would say need to go to church, but churches are stupid to me. And then suddenly Sky attacks. Oh no, the stuff on the screen was a ruse. And then she beats her up and puts her knee on her neck and says, I'm the TBS champion. Yeah, Sky Blue. Since Julia Hart is actually out for a while, Sky needs to take over the evil, spoopy, gothic beauty thing, I guess. So, Tony Khan has an important announcement. The Elite arrived the EWO, and Jack is still driving that scapegoat bus. Do they literally have him drive it everywhere? Do they just find a bus and paint it? Do they put it on one of the 18-wheelers? They are putting how much effort into this joke? Double or Nothing recaps. And speaking of jokes, we have Kill Switch. Look, Luchasaurus is a fine big man when you have him do, a few things in a tag match. When you have him do a long singles match, it doesn't work, even with somebody like Swerve, who swerves when he drives and Nana's back and he's alive. And it was a House of the Dragon match. I assume that's something to do with Game of Thrones. I've seen precisely 0 Game of Thrones because I don't give a fuck, but I know a lot of people like it. Referee Rick Knox, so nothing got enforced because Rick Knox is, well, I'm not sure a terrible human being. He's a terrible referee. Steps bump, and then Swerve had to carry this idiot, this lug. A stomp on the floor, a stomp in the ring, a kick out at 2, and a house call 1, 2, 3. This is sadly the best that Kill Lucha Switch has looked. That's not saying much. Then he cuts off Lucha Switch's ponytail, so he finally gets his revenge after beating Christian at the pay-per-view. They didn't time this well. Shivani has an announcement. Mercedes versus Sky Blue, so Mariah May and Saraya got bumped to Colorado next week. Okay. So Moxley is facing Rocky Romero because that's what champions do. It's what's going to make you see the whole world through. And what are you doing? What are you going to do? That's what champs do. If anybody gets that reference, boy, that was a butchering of a song from a particular soundtrack, a pop song that I don't even remember the name of the goddamn band. That being said, yeah, he's going to face Rocky Romero. And then one of the worst segments I have seen in many, many months on AEW programming at least, TV Time with the Learning Tree. Big Bill was standing next to a tree and I couldn't tell the difference. I think the fake tree certainly has more of a brain. Here comes Chris Jericho. He's the world champion, and he's being all trolly and everything, and he's doing this and over-the-top happiness and all that and everything, and he's doing this heel stuff. And here's the thing. If he's trying to troll the social media bubble of wrestling, that doesn't translate to every fan that's in the arena. Yes, the diehards are mostly coming to these shows. They've run off a lot of people even in Washington State. Their combined attendance for the Collision, WrestleDream, Combo, and also Dynamite is maybe 4,000 more than what they drew for the first Dynamite. They're never going to draw 9,000 and 9,500 people again. Probably not even in the Tacoma Dome for WrestleDream. They want to try to draw something that holds upwards of 20,000 people. Good luck. That being said, there are people that like Chris Jericho. And I have liked some of Chris Jericho's stuff in the past. He peaked with Wrestle Kingdom 12. Everything has been a rapid descent. The fall into madness. And it's funny that he complained about how people in WCW, old people, were holding him back and holding others back and stuff like that. He's older than Flair. He's older than Hogan, Nash, Scott Hall, and others. He's older than all of them and has been, as far as getting worse and worse and worse. So it's not because he's a heel that they're booing him. Fans don't want to see him. They don't want to hear from him. And I don't care generally how people are outside of wrestling, but since Jericho is so boisterous, he talks about being such a great influence behind the scenes. He's out for himself, and that's it. None of his ideas are any good. He has helped nobody. The only person that has, been able to get out from under Jericho's shadow, the vortex, is MJF, and he was lucky because he's a generational talent. Ricky Starks, so many other people have not benefited from working with Chris Jericho. I don't care about Big Bill because Jericho and Bill align the same way as far as views, especially politically. And sure, a lot of people are really, really weird and crazy in a CTE-ridden sport like wrestling, but Jericho can donate to all the good causes that he wants. But when you donate tens of thousands of dollars to a criminal piece of shit that some people still actually thought was a good choice for president, yeah, I don't really trust your goddamn opinions. And also, he rips off ideas, he steals stuff from people and thinks that he can make them his own. And these are really, really good ideas, except they're not. He knows they're not. He genuinely deep down knows they're not, but he can convince people that they're good ideas, so he'll just keep getting his contract payment. Jericho has not benefited this company in so goddamn long, and it's ridiculous. And all this stuff, it's terrible. He's referring to the fans as the branches. And maybe if Jericho actually was about 10 to 15 years younger, this might work. But it doesn't. It's not good. You could actually argue that Jericho really hasn't been that good since about his feud with CM Punk. Well, then again, it's stuff with Kevin Owens, but it's like, yeah, that Wrestle Kingdom 12 thing with Kenny Omega was about the last time. And then Brian Keith comes out, and Brian Keith I didn't really care for, but he's fucking toast. There's shut the fuck up chants, because nobody wants to hear this. There's please retire chants. People don't want to hear this. Brian Keith looked like he was going to have an aneurysm. And here's Hook, and then security gets taken out, and then Samoa Joe suddenly appears out of nowhere. Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from? Hawaiian Joe. Why in the world are you here? How in the world did you manage to sneak up on the cameraman? Not that Joe isn't a talented individual, and, he was kidnapped by ninjas in TNA, so maybe he learned the lessons from them. But good goddamn Christ, and I guess they're going to be a team, which is fine. Samoa Joe being a mentor to Hook is good. And this is 8 to 10 minutes, and it felt twice as long. So yeah, AEW truly is where the best wrestle. It's just that not a lot of people are there to watch, either on TV or in the arenas. Anyway, I've given up on Excalibur. It's been 5 years, and he has just gotten more and more rotten. I've tried to ignore some of the botches, and I know it's hard to call live wrestling. I imagine it is. But he was he's probably pissing himself once he did this wrong, but he pitched to a Stephanie Baker package. The problem is they went to Double or Nothing recaps. Because the production team, either they can't communicate with each other, or Excalibur can't read the formats, or Tony Khan truly is changing things last minute. And Stephanie Baker, she is going to be in AEW soon. She's been wrestling in Mexico, wrestling in New Japan, current New Japan Strong Women's Champion. Good. Wild Thing from the bowels of the Forum, and you couldn't even shoot the upper deck because it was empty, the Wild Thing. Mox took on Rocky Romero. Rocky jumpstarts as an IWGP Eradicator match because we're eradicating the Eliminator title. Jumpstarts, targets the arm, and eventually gets hit with the Death Rider in about 10 to 15 minutes. It wasn't a bad match. I just don't care. And then, Renee's with Joe and Hook. Callis is in the ring, and this is how they start the second hour. Him offering a contract to join the Don Callis family to Orange Cassidy. They were booing him comically. Callis, not Orange Cassidy. They cheer Orange Cassidy. Whatever, there are people that like him, that's fine. I don't, I never will. But he calls Orange Cassidy, you are truly an iconic performer in this industry. Proof that Don Callis is a fucking idiot. Cassidy tore up the contract. No one says no to me, Orange. I'll tell you what to do. Yes, you not taking no for an answer, Callis, is why you are not in Impact anymore. Because allegedly, that's why Scarlett and Cross couldn't say anything and why they got their release. And I'm sure that Scarlett isn't the only one, because you're a lecherous creep and a piece of shit. And any of those women could have and should have knocked you out and could beat you up. And I can't wait for the day when Callis steps on the wrong goddamn toe or tries to do something like that. But Tony Khan says that AEW is the safest place to work. It's where the best wrestle and no one watches. But that's fine. He has Callis, who is going to slip up because he's a lecherous creep. He's a fucking, I guarantee goddamn to you, he's got more skeletons in his closet than most goddamn war generals. And some stuff's going to come out about him. It's going to come out. But I know there are a lot of people that can kick his ass. There are a lot of fans in that goddamn crowd who could have easily beat his ass. Former wrestler, my ass. He was never any good, and he's a lousy goddamn manager. So anyway... Yeah, child-sized Stokely comes out, and look, he's a fine promo, but he's pint-sized. It's like you could pick him up and just hold him on your hand like an Oompa Loompa. And Statlander was here and says, my best friend accepts. And it's Trent. Trent is part of the Don Callis family. Trent, who is going to continue this feud with Orange Cassidy, who got colored during this. And okay, let me just ask this question. So the Don Callis family has 1 star, Ospreay. Takeshita could be the 2nd star, but they don't know what to do with him. Fletcher doesn't mean anything. Hobbs is injured. And now Trent? Is there anyone else in the Don Callis family I'm mentioning? Or forgetting to mention, rather? Ospreay versus Kyle O'Reilly is going to be taking place on Saturday for the international title, which could mean maybe Ospreay loses it. I mean, I doubt it's on a taped show, meaning he could be a double champion. Oops, spoiler for later. Mercedes took on Sky Blue, but before that, Garcia wants an international title shot, while Menard didn't say anything, and that's good, because his commentary's rotten. But back to the women. Mercedes and Sky Blue. TBS championship match, and it was fine. It was fine. Sky Blue is trying. Mercedes is certainly trying. The dancing is stupid. I'm sorry. The dancing of, well, what is this? Are you just confused, and it's like you're having a goddamn shock treatment happen? Sky kicked out of a few things, hit a full Nelson flatliner variation, and then Mercedes hit a gory special flatliner. That is stupid. Stop hitting that move. Just do something else, because it looks awkward. It just does. And Stephanie Baker shows up. She looks great. My God, does she look great. That ought to be a decent match. And Stokely and Statlander, they run down Willow. And Stokely mentions how Statlander came back from 2 ACL injuries. And how some of the bitches will just get a sinus infection and stay home. And I'm not talking about the women, I'm talking about the men. Statlander has come back from a couple ACL injuries, and she has fought through that stuff, and she looks great. And says she's tired of being everything to everyone, and then Everclear started playing, and Tony Khan had to play more rights. MJF recaps with a package talking about all his accolades. They needed him back. He's back. And I really, really hope that he can save this, but it's a team effort. And I swear it's probably going to end up being like Goldberg coming back to WCW in its dying days. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the rights fees renewal increases and they can get a better deal and they can grow and everything, but this feels like they are struggling, and it's sad because it was self-inflicted. That being said, I'm happy MJF is back. The EWO show up the Elite World Order to address the TNT title because the Adam Copeland almost pulled a Sid Vicious at WCW Sin. He's going to be out probably until, I'd say, Revolution next year. Minimum he'll be out till Full Gear. He's got his health to think about. There's CM Punk chants directed at Jack Perry. Jack Perry can't do this. He's not good. He's not qualified for this. We know that Khan runs the company, but the EVPs are like, we run this thing. No, you don't. No, you don't, you idiots. Actually, Shad Khan's checkbook runs this thing. And they got Okada a Ferrari or Lamborghini. I think it was a Lamborghini. It wasn't a Tesla because it looked like a normal car. Oh my God. He's like, acting all dramatic and everything. And look, Okada could make this work if he actually had people to play off of and not idiots and children. And they were going to give Jack Perry the TNT championship. Suddenly Christopher Daniels shows up. Oh, he is not fired. He is now the interim EVP that answers to Tony Khan. You thought the Millionaires Club New Blood storyline was bullshit. You thought that everything else about that goddamn thing was bullshit. Oh, ho, 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 Green Giant. No, it's not going to be Jack Perry's a TNT champion. Qualifying matches happening over the next few weeks, including Takeshita versus Penta on a taped Rampage. Good job there. And the winners of that will face off in a ladder match at Forbidden Door to crown the new TNT title. NXT, WWE doing it. It's stupid. And it's stupid when AEW does it because the overuse of stipulation matches is trying my patience. So, he did say Friday Night Dynamite, though. I did kind of find that funny. And then here's the Acclaimed, and we have the weirdest stare down that I've seen. I don't know what was going on. Swerve and Nana are going to be keeping an eye on all the surprise people that are apparently right over yonder, right by Swerve. So, MJF versus Roosh next week. Okay. Casino Gauntlet. First pinfall or submission wins it. Timed intervals, the winner faces Swerve at Forbidden Door. This is what I gathered from this match. They had no idea what they were doing, and they went into an 8-minute overrun. We had Jay White and Pac start out, and then Mystico, a.k.a. Sin Cara. I assume that's Sin Cara. He botched, so I think it's Sin Cara. Ospreay showed up as they were getting back from break. Shota Umino, Shooter Umino is here. Claudio, because they needed somebody to do what Claudio does, and only Claudio can do what Claudio does, at least until the cloning device is complete. Nobody else can do what Claudio does. Leo Rush and Orange Cassidy show up, so this show is made for children. And Viano 6, Hechicero is here, and then Ospreay pinned Orange Cassidy. And then as they run down Rampage, Ospreay and Swerve stare each other down. So that's it. Okay, guys, I'm going to keep reviewing Dynamite as long as I can. I will keep buying their pay-per-views, but if things don't get better, by year's end, I may be making some adjustments because I'm getting some entertainment out of some of their stuff. Some of it is really trying my patience. I've given up on weekly WWE, by the way, just so you know. That being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.